So is the quiz straightforward? Yeah. Especially problem 1. That's okay because the exam is double time, right? So there's going to be one problem which is going to be sort of similar to problem first. And there are 2 other problems. One is going to be on the equipment, and one is on sort of figuring out the annuity stuff. Only 3 problems, fairly straight. Yeah. Sorry? I can't hear you. No formula sheets. No, nothing, only a calculator. And only a calculator that does basic calculations, no functional stuff. You cannot use a function to, you cannot use the graphing, none of that crazy stuff. Just simple multiplication, addition, subtraction, division, exponent, good old stuff. You guys know what people did before there were calculators in exams? Sorry? What?
Approximate.
Sorry? Something called log tables. You guys may have no idea what a log table is. You combine logs and anti-logs. So multiply a bunch of numbers. Just look at the logs of each, add them up, take the anti-log. And of course, if you want to take power, take log, multiply, anti-log. Yeah, there are logs and anti-log tables. I have seen those. I have used those. Not in my college, but in my high school. I think. Yeah.
So for the exam, will we have to interpolate for each of them? Just all for DCF-ROR?
Give me a reasonable value, whether you do by interpolation or just by guesswork, it's up to you. As long as it's reasonably accurate, it's fine. Any other questions? Is there any topic you'd like me to cover today? Yes?
No, it's not about the topic.
Sure, good.
Are there practice exams that we can do, or
No.
just do the quizzes and homework?
Quizzes and homework.
Okay, thanks.
I'm fundamentally opposed to the idea of just doing practice after practice after practice. You guys are smart. Just learn the concept and do it. Sorry? I was very lazy when I was a student. I never did any practice problems. I didn't do homework, I didn't do practice. I just saw the concept and that's it.
So look at you.
I had too much other fun stuff going on in my life. Sorry? Sorry, something should not be said in classroom. New Delhi, India. Sorry? Was fun? What else? So no topic? Yes.
What's the best way to review the concepts? Because I missed an unfortunate amount of classes and I wasn't able to follow the logic.
So you are saying you don't understand the logic, you want to review?
Yes.
If you don't understand logic, there is no way to review.
But I wasn't able to for some of the discussions on like DCF-ROR.
Just ask me questions right now, you have another 15 minutes.
Okay.
But if you don't understand the concept,
This is just kind of like an open forum review. We ask questions.
no, but because he doesn't understand, that he has the first right of question. I'll give you 3 questions.
Can I turn them in once they have them?
Yeah. So why don't you think about your 3 questions, and we'll come back to you. I don't know which order you were raising hand. Yeah, sure.
Go over the other depreciations, the double fine macros.
Okay, I can do that. It's basically solving quiz problem, yeah.
Specifically, the MACRS, just for the confusion of the starting half year and then the end.
Okay, I'm happy to do it, but I'm also happy to tell you that there is no MACRS in the exam. Now it's up to you guys whether you want me to review or not. I'm so disappointed. Nobody would say, no, who cares about exams? We want to understand it. Yeah. It's only straight line.
I don't think you have to.
So you don't have to remember the formula for SOYD.
Still lower.
Sure. Good, finally somebody wants to go on it.
So there's
Alright.
no double declining either in the exam?
There is no number declining either. Alright, so let's just do the quiz problem because that's basically what it is, right? So I think, I don't remember how much money we started with, so let's just start with 100, right?
30,000.
Okay, let's just do percentage. So straight line, of course, is 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, right? That's very straightforward. Okay, double declining. Double declining will be 40, right? So it's always going to be 0.4 times the book value, right? So here you can put book value. So book value started with 100 and went to 60, to 24, it'll be about 46, 36, right? So it'll be 72, 14.4, it'll be what, 21.6, right? So 0.4 of that, which will be 24, 2, 0.
5.4.
It's 2 over n, right? It's 2 over n times book value. N is 5 for the particular example I did in the quiz.
Question.
Yeah.
In your previous classes, you put the 40 next to the 100 in the book value, and then you did it all. Is that okay?
It doesn't matter where you put the book value. I don't care about the book value. I just want the depreciation. So whichever way it makes more sense in your brain, right? Okay. So yeah. So sorry, I lost track of it. So yeah, everybody understands why 0.4? 2 over 5 is 0.4, right? Okay. So that 4.4 times this is going to be 4, 6 are 24, 2, 6, 8. Right? And so this will be right? And so the last year you just claim 12.96. You claim whatever is that. Okay? Yeah.
What is the book value?
Book value is the amount that has not been depreciated yet, the remaining amount. So you start with 100, you already depreciated 40, so the remaining amount is 60, right? So sort of the cumulative amount. Okay? All right, now let's do the MACRS. MACRS, there is really, so the first trick of course is that, yeah, you start at double declining, switch to straight line. But the second thing is, you start at half a year and go to 5.5 years. That's just how MACRS is done, okay? So therefore, you will need a 6th year here. So this is year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You will need year 6 for MACRS, even though the depreciation is done over 5 years, because you start at midpoint, yeah.
So if you want to start midpoint for MACRS, would you also have to start midpoint for double declining and straight line?
You know, that question is sort of, in some sense, doesn't really matter because you never use a double declining, right? So yeah, you could say that, but it's irrelevant because MACRS is what is used by the IRS, so it doesn't really matter.
Right, but you really start halfway if you bought the equipment halfway through the year.
No, you don't actually. IRS tells you wherever you bought the equipment in that year, you are going to take it at one, because some of them will be bought before, some of them will be after. So that's just how it is done. But when you're doing the entire plant, now if you're doing it equipment by equipment, there might be more subtle ways of claiming more depreciation than otherwise you would. But that's how it's typically done. So yeah, MACRS first year would be, it would normally be 40, but because you do it over half year, you only get 20. Okay? So here is book value. And here we should also calculate book value divided by, let's say, remaining years. Right? So that we know what it would be for if we go to suddenly switch to straight line. So after 20, book value will be 80. So Then 80 times 0.4 will be 32. This will become what? 58? No, sorry, 48. 48 times 0.4 is going to be 18.4. No, 18.6. Sorry, that's 4. Yes.
19.2.
19.
Do you use a double declining formula for that?
Yeah, I'm using double declining, and eventually at some point we'll have to switch. We'll figure out what. Let's first do the double declining only. Then we'll start calculating the straight line, and then from there we'll know when to switch. Now we could do, as we discussed last time, we know where to switch if we just do a very simple calculation. But I think most of you didn't do that. Most of you are just making the table, so let's just make the table. So 19.2.
28.8.
Sorry, what?
28.8.
Okay. Times 0.4.
11.56.
Okay, and then this will be
17.28.
okay. Now, if you think about it, so let's just compute this here. Actually, we can compute it here. So simply 28.8 divided by what? 2.5, right? Because that's the remaining number of years. So what is 28.8 divided by 2.5? I think it's also 11.52, right? So that tells you that now it's time to switch, because this time both are giving you the same number, right? Whether you use the double declining or straight line, you get the same number. So that means it's clear that now straight line will be better. It's 11.52, and the last one is half of that, which is 5.75 or 76.
I'm confused. You want to make the switch at year 3 because the depreciation is less than the straight line there.
No.